We are Paul Leonard
and Bryce Graskowski,
and this is 20 Minutes of Fitness.
Yo.
We're back.
We're back. Week 2 of the Bryce changing. Oh, let's change our clothes.
Change of clothes. This totally didn't happen on the same day that we just did the other one.
So part 2 of what Bryce has learned from running a CrossFit affiliate for 12 years.
Yeah, the abridged version, the 20-minute version.
20-minute, but that's why we split it into 2, so it could be 40
that's right,
minutes.
40 minutes.
And it was actually 25 minutes last week. So
hopefully I've learned more than 40 minutes, but yeah.
So now what we're doing is we did positives last week because we wanted to get people excited for all the fucking trashing stuff this week. So
garbage.
All in all, let's start at the top of your biggest, let's not call it mistake, but biggest thing that you would do differently if you did it all over again.
Biggest thing I would do.
You would get rid of the pandemic?
Yeah, the pandemic and
that
whole
deal. Be the number one thing.
That would be number one.
Eliminate that whole thing from the last 2 years.
And so this is something I told Victoria, who's taking over for me 2 weeks from now, or 1 week from now, I guess, when you listen to this. Don't brand yourself as a CrossFit gym. And I don't mean not be an affiliate. You could be an affiliate, but start your own brand. Put a different name on the door. Still advertise as a CrossFit gym. Still have your CrossFitWestOahu.com.
Yeah.
But also have your, for like us, it was Achieve Fitness. Should have had a AchieveFitness.com and actually everything funneled to that so that you get the hits there. On the door, Achieve Fitness. On your advertising, Achieve Fitness. You still advertise CrossFit in the same sentence. But everything brand to yourself, because using the CrossFit name and only using that, and that's all we did. We never used anything else. When the shit hits the fan with CrossFit, and at this point, that could be any second of any day, and generally every 5...
And it may never go bad, but...
Every 5 days, there's usually something going wrong in CrossFit at this point, and it's like the more negative.
It ties too much to you.
Yeah, there's just too much negative. There's more negative out there right now than positive. Like in the day, we only used to have to deal with, CrossFit's dangerous, and it's like, which was lies, by the way.
Yeah, no,
and that's all we really had to deal with. That and the bodybuilders. You guys, or whoever you want to say, the other fitness sports who were like, what the hell is that kipping? You're flopping around like an idiot. But they're just saying that because they're jealous of our cardio. Yeah. But nowadays you have so many problems with CrossFit, and all comes from the pandemic. Like, they handled that so poorly that it would have been nice and to just dump them. And that's what Jason Khalipa did. One of the guys that months before said, I'm never going to not pay for an affiliate fee because it's just part of who we are and it's what made us. And then fast forward 6 months later or so, he dumped that shit quick because he had to distance himself. He had to preserve.
Did he de-affiliate?
Yeah. He had to preserve his money, his base. And so he doesn't even, they don't do Friday Night Lights with the Open, and they don't do any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Sure Spiel also dropped it and went over to with
and so it's what was theirs? Park City Fit.
Park City.
Yeah. He's still an affiliate though.
Yeah.
And I'm sure is he still on level 1 staff? I don't know. But
no,
I would definitely brand yourself as something, and you're also a CrossFit affiliate. That's number one, because I would have dropped it when they dropped Glassman and everybody turned on, or not when they dropped Glassman and when everybody turned on him, and then all this nonsense since.
Yeah.
And that's why I did de-affiliate. Granted, it's re-affiliated now, but that's okay. So that's number one. Just to build your own brand, because at some point you're going to want to be your own brand. In some way, shape, or form. And it just gives you all the people that do other sports.
You said do.
And they're like, CrossFit this, CrossFit that. Well, we're a strength and conditioning gym. It's the same damn thing, people. It's just a different name. So you should brand yourself as a strength and conditioning gym or a health and fitness club.
And that's something that Kapolei Strength and Conditioning did well.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, KSAC.
Right?
And that's why they did that. CrossFit. Yeah, they were Eva Beach CrossFit or something.
They were Eva Beach Strength and Conditioning. Then they went to Kapolei Strength and Conditioning.
But they were a CrossFit affiliate. What was their CrossFit
They were affiliated.
Name? Yeah, the whole time.
It was always called Kapolei Strength and Conditioning.
You don't know what their CrossFit name was though? Their affiliate name, or that was what
Top
it was?
Strength and Conditioning.
Okay, yeah. So they didn't have CrossFit in their actual name. Oh, it's interesting.
Nowhere in it at any point did they.
I guess that makes sense.
Which they thought of that back
weird.
then. They want their own business with it. Right?
Yeah, I think if you're going to be an affiliate, though, you should have the name CrossFit somewhere. Not in your name, obviously, but because you can't, but in your affiliate name. But whatever, it's all good. But yeah, that was smart that they did that. And that was going to lead me on to something. Yeah, I don't remember.
So so that's something you would do differently in retrospect.
Yeah, so then you could say
stopped it a long time ago.
You could say your strength and conditioning, fitness and health, and that's where I was going. That's another thing that I would do differently was keep diet in CrossFit more. One thing I totally find that like CrossFit has failed with that they used to be great was they pushed zone diet in the beginning?
Yeah,
zone diet.
Zone, big time.
Paleo zone. And then you had the Matt Frasers, or actually Rich Froning is where it started.
Chocolate milk.
And all these morons that are like, oh yeah, I go to McDonald's and I eat this and I don't care. And it's like, okay, cool. So now all the people in your affiliate think, oh, Rich Froning does this, so I could do this.
Yeah, they're not realizing that he's burning 10,000 calories a day, so it literally doesn't matter what
and
he
he's
eats.
Maximizing everything else recovery-wise. Yeah. And like, so yeah, he's getting away with it. You can't get away with that shit.
Most people cannot.
And then the new one is what Matt Fraser went on Joe Rogan. He's like, oh, I eat a Snickers bar after every workout and I drink Gatorade. Fuck you do. You're a piece of trash.
Just trying to sell those
piece
products.
Of trash. So that's one big thing is I would have did more with
more nutrition challenges,
more nutrition, more emphasis on it. Figure out a way to talk about it in classes and really harp on it because people just don't get it. I mean, I know I wrote it on the wall, and if you ask me, I'll tell you. But that's really all we do with it. We do a challenge a couple times a year if we're if we're going good 3 times a year, but most of the time twice a year probably. I would do a lot more of that, and I'll tell you the reason I didn't do it was because when I started CrossFit, I did the Warrior Diet, which is intermittent fasting, 22 hours a day. You fast. You eat for 2 hours. I lost a ton of weight. I went from like 185 pounds to 167 in several months. And I was shredded. I was down to low single digits body fat. And that was an odd diet back then. This is 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
12 years ago. And I've always, like, people ask me, oh, what would you do? That's what I would do. And it's like, it's such a crazy diet. But now intermittent fasting is the thing. And it's like everybody realizes it works. I'm like, man, that's what I said to do forever. Like, if you asked me what you should do and staying off carbohydrates totally, right? And that's now a lot more accepted. And I should have fought more to instill that in everybody, because that would it would help business, it would help the people, the members. It would help me too, because then it would keep me eating that way all along. Because I go back and forth. Like back in the day, I would do a diet challenge and I would cut something out. Like I would cut all the carbs out was the first one. Then I cut dairy out. Then I cut this out. And then I'm like, oh, I like dairy. I'm going to add that back in. But it's like you start falling back, and then I'm like, oh, now I'm eating candy bars again. Like, it all comes back, and it comes in waves. Whereas if we had a real,
like a Snickers after every workout.
Yeah, exactly. It's the secret, man. It's the secret to the games. If we had a much stronger plan with the dieting, a yearly plan of some sort, that would have helped everybody out. And I would go back to that. And it when we first started, that's what we did. And then it just, once all the freaking games movies and stuff and all that stuff came out, it really hurt the base methodology of CrossFit. The games really did. And that would be my next thing. Less of, this is kind of a double, it's a tough one. Less competition. So like I obviously focus on the open a lot.
Yeah.
And our yearly programming is based on that, right? Like 2 months before the open, we stop doing strength and we get a little more cardio-y, a little more, what do you call it? Barbell cycling more, stuff that you're going to see, and like bigger sets of certain movements, like fine tuning.
Chest to bars back in.
Yeah, fine tuning your chest to bars, your handstand push-ups, all that stuff, which is fine. It's our season, right? But, for me at least, the rest of the year, I'm always thinking about the Open or the games. But probably putting less emphasis on that type of competition between people. And even on the leaderboard thing, for some people it works, for some people it doesn't. The problem is that for some people that it works for, it's the top few people. And then everybody else, it can be discouraging. But it's also such a that's why I say it's double-sided. It's also such a powerful motivator.
I don't think I would have stayed with CrossFit if it wasn't for
exactly. It's such a good motivator. It's just like, I think
training
it's a hard one. I don't know which.
Right, though. I think that's a big part. Like people
maybe.
like Mana shouldn't be competing with me because I'll just crush them all the time. Okay, that's not even true anymore, but it was for a while. But like more what I'm trying to say, like
I hear you.
Back when I was at KSAC, Corbin and I started at the same time, and we would compare our scores a lot. He was my guy that it was like we were competing against each other all the time.
Years later, he doesn't do it, and now he comes back.
He's not competing with me anymore.
Right. But he's still looking at your time and trying to beat it.
Is he?
Oh, I'm sure.
Maybe.
Sure.
I think though, like my point is, like I wasn't trying to compete with Gino and Scott, like the guys in the gym that were crushing every workout. I picked Corbin, who was about my same level.
No, that's how you do it.
And then I leaderboard against him.
Yeah.
And for Corbin now, he needs to pick someone that isn't going to win every time, so it'd be discouraging.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, it's definitely, and that's the thing. That's why I say it's double-sided. It's I don't even know.
And some people hate that shit anyway.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's a tough one. But I do think less, and this is a programming thing, even though I said I do programming well, something I would do differently with that is one of the options on Beyond the Whiteboard is like for quality. I would utilize that more where stuff isn't for a score. Like today's 28 minutes, there's no way to change your score. So it's like you completed it or you didn't. And it's like, I like that. Like, and I was actually thinking about that today because of that one. I was like, man, it'd be smart to do X number for completion, they're generally going to be higher cardio stuff. A week, but also, so then when you do put it in for time, like it's, let's say a named WOD, because that's what you're trying to use as a measurer, are the named WOD should be used as benchmarks. The benchmarks should be used as benchmarks.
To compete against yourself.
And those are the days that you really focus on how fast you could go. That's the competition day.
Yeah.
It's not generally Tuesday in an unnamed workout. Who cares who wins? You know what I mean? If you're somewhere up in the top or, like I'll change stuff in my workouts where I'm like, okay, this is going to be a little tougher. This is a little more, because you should scale in all directions, right? People that are better than the programmed workout should scale up so that it brings them down to the level that it's going to take the intended stimulus, right? And not that we don't do a pretty good job of scaling in any direction, but I definitely something with the leaderboard, but I don't have an answer to it, But just less I guess less on the CrossFit games, because we do spend a little bit too much time on certain movements and stuff because they're in the game, in the open or games where then we miss out on other movements that are maybe a little more effective for strength and conditioning building. That I would use, that's definitely, yep.
All right, so what about we ended our last episode of coaches.
Yeah,
so
coaches.
What would you do differently with coaches?
So coaches, really just a better like, where do they go once you're a coach? Okay, you've got the level 1 education, so as long as you know that information, you're pretty good. And if you've been in the gym for a while, you've picked up a lot of the fixes, all that stuff. But then where do they go from there? Having a little more structure onto where to go from there. And I guess here and there, like some group activities where you bring all the coaches in and everybody kind of works. Like, did you do the level 2?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like in the level 2, you break into groups and you have to coach people in front of other coaches. It's kind of nerve-wracking at first, right? And you have the level 4 person sitting there in your group too, and they're gonna crush you no matter what you think.
Yeah.
You could have the perfect thing and they're still gonna tell you what you did wrong.
But critiquing each other's critiquing.
But something like that would have been a good idea. And it really just never happened. I know we used to do some coaches meetings here and there, but like it was just such a pain in the ass to get the people in.
Yeah.
Like no one can ever agree on a day, like once a month. And it was just such an annoyance. I just stopped doing it.
And like Keone would throw the coaches meetings, and then we would just kind of show up with beer or at the meetings, and we wouldn't necessarily pay attention to what we were doing or do the things we were supposed to be doing.
Well, like he was good at throwing the meetings. He just had no structure to him. And
yeah.
He kind of just would, it was just a time to talk to the coaches and be like, hey, how you doing?
And he would just talk about Transform the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't structured. And that's the thing too. It's like it's a great idea to do, and then it's like, man, what are we going to talk about? But like I think the move would have been something along the lines of get the coaches together, once a month something, and just do a WOD.
Yeah.
And pick somebody to coach it. That'd be a good idea, right?
Yeah.
I just came up with that now. Damn.
But even to have, let's have Bryce squat. You've got good form.
Yeah.
Now I want everybody to find one thing that Bryce is doing wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then so now Paul's going to squat. I want everyone to pick one thing he's doing wrong.
Do a coach's workout where you do it like a class. You start with some skills, right?
Yeah.
Go over skills, and then ask people, what are we doing wrong? What else could we add to these cues, whatever. And then you continue on, you break it, you stop here and there. Like you could do a strength, and then you could do a WOD and have multiple people coaching different parts and throwing in on it. Like that'd be a good one.
So as a gym owner, would you still coach as much as you have?
No. I mean,
would that be a choice?
I absolutely wouldn't. So that's one of the big ones with owning a gym, and this is what I would warn people about if they're looking to get into the gym business. You think, if I owned a gym, I'd just work out all day. No, you won't. This is more work than running almost any whatever this is, retail service business, whatever you want to call this, because there's so many more facets that require your energy. It's when you're not here, and this is all business, when you're not here, you're thinking about it, right? The only difference is this thing is 100, like we have over 100 members, right? So if you have 100 members, or we don't right now, but if 100 members plus, nice. There's a tribe limit, right? I'm sure you've read the book Tribes. Yeah. What is like 125, and then you start losing information. So if you're even near 100, you've got to kind of be on top of all those people. So you either need coaches that are also going to take 100, right? Otherwise, and this is why all CrossFit gyms are roughly between 80 and 120 members. Like it's very rare to find one that isn't. And if they do, it's because they're running it like a business. They're not running it because they like the gym business. They're running it, I'm a manager of this, right? And
you look at NC Fit. He splits it up into tons of affiliates, but he's just running.
He's just managing.
Managers.
And so that's the thing. Like, so if your goal is, I want to own a gym so I can work out all the time in my own place, just become a coach somewhere. This is not the business for you.
Because newsflash, you're not going to make a lot of money.
And that's the thing, too. You're not going to make a lot of money.
Jason Khalipa does. Well, no. Nobody else does.
No, you're not going to make a lot of money and this is why, if you got into this because you like CrossFit and you like the atmosphere and you like the training, you like coaching. Yeah. If those are your reasons, coach at a gym and spend all day there. Find one that'll pay you for the couple hours that you coach, and then hang out there for the other hours. And you'll be a lot happier. And when you go home, you ain't got to think about it. And that gym owner you'll become invaluable to them.
So something that you said,
and be a professional coach when you're a coach. Yeah. Like that's part of the problem with most coaches is they just want that free membership, or if you're paying them, and if you are paying them, get on them more. But yeah, so if you're going into this business because you like the gym business, you have to have someone else that wants to get into this business to be a manager.
Yeah.
Because you have to be the manager, the payroll guy, the advertising guy, or marketing. You also have to be a coach, a maid, a babysitter, a psychologist, right? There's all this stuff, and you have to plan your next moves. If you're doing stuff, there's so much stuff involved.
Coordinator for your competitions.
To me, one person can't do it well.
Yeah,
and that's my problem. And Tommy helps me out a lot with a lot of that stuff. Like, if it wasn't for her and her help, like I probably wouldn't do as many diet challenges as we can. Because when we do a diet challenge, man, that's it. I'm busy at that point, and it's for the month, and you just get overwhelmed because you still have to do all the other shit you do. But yeah, so you need somebody marketing. That's one.
Marketing would be a big one. Yeah.
Marketing is the biggest thing I did wrong business wise is marketing. I just don't market. And since I decided I was selling the gym, which was over a year ago, I haven't put a single ad on Facebook because I'm like, I don't give a shit. No, I shouldn't say that. We did for one of the diet challenges at the new year, but beyond that, I haven't put up anything, and that's why numbers are down, right? So you need constant turnover, especially here, which is Hawaii is a horrible place to own a gym. There's CrossFit gyms. Number one advertising is word of mouth.
Yeah.
Well, how many of your relatives live here, Paul?
Yeah.
Yeah. How many people you went to school with live here, Paul?
Yeah.
The same number as me,
you
right?
Can't pass that around. That's true.
Well, my mom and sister both live here. But that's a rarity.
Yeah.
Right. And then how many people are only going to be here 3 years?
Yeah.
Because they're in the military or work at the Four Seasons down the street. They only got 2 years. Lots. So here is one of the worst. Like in Connecticut, if you got somebody in the doors there, as long as you don't fuck up, they're going to be there forever. Their kids are going to be there. Their sister's going to be there. Their best friend, their neighbor, they're all going to be there because they just keep talking about it.
Yeah, and they don't leave.
You do not get that here at all. This is a horrendous place for that.
So something that I think that the previous gym owners, because you're the third gym owner I've been with, right? Yep. And something that Noel and Say did really poorly, but was awesome. They spent so much money on equipment.
Oh yeah.
And then Keone did it too. Like this big, massive rig.
Yeah,
he did not need to spend the money he did on this rig, and now it's really awesome that you have it.
Yeah.
But that didn't need to happen.
Right.
And Noel and Say had anything you could think of.
Don't waste
the
money
dog
on
bones and the random mobility shit.
Don't waste money on the fancy.
And that's something you've done a lot better with.
Yeah.
A lot better with. We talked about in the last episode that you have spent money on new plates.
Sure.
You have bought Echo bikes.
And that's
you have spent some money.
And that's something. The other guys, they bought shitty plates.
Yeah.
Don't spend, and you've heard this before, spend a little bit extra to get the better plates. And I've figured out what the best plates are now, which is great. And it is the high temps with those metal centers, right?
Noel and Say actually didn't screw
that up. They had a lot of
up.
comp stuff, yeah.
They had all the metal, all the rubber plates.
Yeah.
But it was long enough ago that it's... Yeah. And then Keone sold most of that and kept all the junkier stuff from Blue Coast.
You want quality stuff because it's not because I don't give a fuck about the Rogue name. I can care less what name, as long as the thing's not going to fall apart.
It has to be high quality, yeah.
Because they will fall apart once they're cracked. People are like, oh, should I throw this out? I'm like, did it fall? Did it literally crack in half? Is it 2 pieces now? No, then we're still using it. This shit costs tons of money, especially now. And that's another problem with Hawaii. The amount of
shipping.
And by the way, I got some equipment on sale, so you don't have to ship it. It's here. Yeah, that's huge. Buy quality stuff. I wouldn't say I don't think I did any of that wrong. So
no, I don't think you did. I'm saying that other people did.
Yeah, so I would do, because I did do a couple of orders of my first 2 orders of plates. I bought the same Econ bumpers, and they're all garbage.
Yeah.
It was my last order of when I bought all the high temp stuff and the competition high temp. Those are the best there are.
Yeah.
That really made a difference, and all that stuff looks brand new still.
Yeah, you've had it for a while, and you brought in enough of it that shipping it here wasn't ridiculous.
Yep.
And you were able to package it shipping into one of my containers or something so that it didn't end up costing that much to bring it out here. So that was definitely all smart moves. But the previous owners having just frivolously spent money.
Yeah.
Noel and Say just did it because they wanted all these cool toys.
Yeah, don't do that. It's not.
It was cool.
It's not. It's just
they also had an 11,000 square foot building.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Not surprised they went out.
No, exactly. They didn't pay their rent, so. But that's the thing. It's what kind of space does that equipment take up? Or would you be better off just getting more members? Big ones. The tires. We used to have the tires that I got rid of because they just took up space. We had 2 of them in the back wall. Remember that? We have to roll them in and out. It's for what? You use them once every 6 months. It's garbage. Just get rid of it.
Well, one of the first things Keone bought when he bought KSAC, he bought that Pit Shark thing.
Yeah, Pit Shark.
It's just a huge space sink.
Yeah, Pit Shark's dumb. What's that thing called? A monolift?
Yeah, monolift.
I remember a guy,
he
had a monolift, and he was like,
no one say about that.
It's just stupid, man.
Yeah. And like they're cool gadgets to have, but like you have to have so much space to make that make sense.
Yeah, buy I don't know, a fucking Echo bike or something. Buy something you already have a bunch of, but not enough of. That's key.
Yeah.
Until you have enough of them where you don't need any more. What else? What else we got? Marketing is my biggest flaw, definitely. And yeah, have partners that find somebody that's and I think.
So in retrospect, would you have bought CrossFit West Wahoo with a partner instead of doing it solo?
Man, I don't know, because I've had 3 partners in different businesses that they for the most part didn't really pull their weight, but that's because I'm kind of what do you call it? I don't know.
An asshole.
Yeah, that might be it. But no, I expect like the same output that I'm going to put in on something, and I get kind of obsessive with stuff. So yeah, it's hard to say.
So that may have been a good idea.
Yeah,
but you don't even know if it would be.
I feel like I had partners that. Well, here's the thing: if you I would say yes. I would rather have had a partner, and that partner would have to have me being the coach, the programmer, all that stuff. Them being more on the business side and being okay with that. They can still coach, and I can still do some business stuff, but that would be
knowing your own roles.
You want the manager guy, the business guy, because I didn't do this to be a manager. I was already a manager somewhere else. I was running a rug cleaning business, and it's like I knew I didn't really want to do that anymore. I didn't want to deal with my employees. I wanted something that's kind of me. Like that's why I do coach so many classes. It's like I can control that. I can control the quality of the environment. Yeah, I enjoy that. So find somebody that enjoys the other side of it. And that's what I would have done differently. Definitely. Find somebody that enjoys that side of it, and I don't know. Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. All right, well, we'll call that a day.
Yeah. Cool.
Peace.
Later.